Well, good morning guys, hope you're all doing well. So day one of the workshop, it's 20 to 3 in the morning and we're just on the way to pick up the guys from the hotel to make our way down to Tuscany for day one.
Hey Matt, your hair's not looking proper because you're not used to tagging videos this time of morning.
No, I'm not usually up at this time of the morning. I very rarely see it. But yeah, looking forward to day one. Go and pick the guys up now and then head down there. So guys, we drove through the night from 3 o'clock this morning and arrived at this beautiful place in Tuscany, and this is what we're greeted with this morning. Look at the conditions we have this morning. Beautiful fog, lovely light. First light was beautiful with a lovely red sky back there. Obviously we haven't got a lot of clouds, so we're not going to get a whole lot of colour, but these conditions make up for it so much. We've got all this beautiful layers of fog throughout the valley here, and I think it's going to stick around for a good while, so I think we're going to hang around in this location, get a few shots, and then probably move on to the house we're staying in later on. Probably have a little bit of downtime because obviously we've been up half the night getting here, but it was definitely worth travelling through the night, even though we're absolutely knackered in the car on the way here. But yeah, so beautiful, and I think I'm going to get a couple of shots of this that everyone's going to be really happy with. So yeah, what an absolutely beautiful morning. I'll pop some images up because obviously being on a workshop it's kind of difficult to vlog at the same time when you're around everyone and everybody's trying to get shots of this. But yeah, such fantastic conditions, and that's just morning one. We literally just arrived here this morning and got these spectacular conditions, so I think in amongst it there'll be some really nice images which I'll probably talk you through while I pop them up on screen. And where I'm heading now is just a little bit further to get a bit higher elevation of the same scene, because even though we've been here about 2 hours shooting this, the fog is still hanging around, and as you can see there's still some nice shots to be had. I think even though it's quite harsh, the sun's right up now, I think there's still enough atmosphere and fog down there to give us some more images. So I'm going to go back up the hill here and see what else I can find from a higher elevation, looking right down on it, and see what we can make of that. So guys, after a short break, I've come to the next location, which is this sunset shoot, and you may recognise it because this was the scene from Gladiator, just down here off to that beautiful farmhouse in the distance there. So what we're actually hoping for, as you can see, it's pretty difficult conditions we have because there's no clouds in the sky at all, literally nothing, just blue skies. We're hoping for the clouds to come in further across there later on this evening, but time's getting on. We've probably got about another hour or so till sunset. So the guys have just spread out across here. We've got one, Josh is away up there in the distance there, photographing down into the scene. We have another one, Phil's down in the bottom there somewhere, and we have Matt and Adrian over here. And yeah, just a case of waiting around, really waiting for this light to change. Now I'm looking at the scene, and for me, what I'm actually waiting for is, as the sun sort of gets lower in the sky over this way, I think what's going to happen is going to drop behind those hills or drop down to the hills, and I think you should get nice side light onto the farmhouse itself. You can see it's hitting there now, and what it's doing is casting this shadow off to the left. So I think it's going to be a balanced scene with the mountains behind, the shadow off to the left, and then the actual farmhouse with this leading line of the road leading you into it, and the pencil pines down the road there. But yeah, I'm using a crop at the minute because I was just trying to simplify it, and because there's so much blue sky, I didn't want to include so much of that. So I'm using crop mode to kind of get rid of that, eliminate as much as possible. And the other issue I have is usually, if you remember the scene from Gladiator, all of this was crops. So you usually have wheat fields going all the way down to where the pencil pines are down in the bottom. And I think that would really make the image pop, to be honest. You'd have a nice foreground element, and we haven't actually got that at the moment. So just making the best of what I have by cropping in, eliminating most of this area in the front of the frame here, and just using more of the midsection. Anyway, going to get back to the camera, keep an eye on the light, and then see how it goes from there. Well, good morning. Day 2 of the landscape photography workshop in Tuscany. And as you can see, if I just spin you around, this here is what we've been shooting this morning. This lovely row of pencil pines out in the landscape here. Now, obviously, the only downside to this location is if I spin you around here, you can see we're literally right next to this main highway. So it's not the most peaceful place, but the actual scene itself, really beautiful. You've got all these lovely rolling hills here. Obviously there's some pencil pines up on the ridge line as well. We have the moon still out above, and that's kind of what I was photographing as well. So I was using the moon in the scene, going into like a full aspect ratio shot of 4:3, and capturing that probably about a 30-second to a minute long exposure, just to get the trees to show up as an outline in the distance, and get some of the colour in the sky. You can see there's still a little bit of colour there. It's kind of fading now as the sun gets further and further up. But yeah, really nice scene. Tried a couple of different things, the full 4:3 aspect ratio, and I've just done a strip pano version of it, getting rid of the moon entirely and putting the trees off to the left, so I can kind of get these rolling hills to go off to the right of the frame, and that seems to work quite nicely. And I put both of those images up that I've just taken Nothing particularly complicated about them. Normal sort of settings was f16, ISO 100 I got down to, but it was when I first started it was up by about 320, something like that. And then, as I say, about a 60-second exposure the first shot I took, and then obviously as the light comes up, just adjusting that exposure length of time. So yeah, really nice couple of shots. I'll pop them both up now for you, and then we're going to move up because there's some more pencil pines on the opposite side of this bridge that are sitting up on a ridge line, so we're going to capture those as the sun comes up. So still at this same scene that I was just telling you about here, and I've told you about this before, it's definitely worth sticking with one location in the morning, not trying to run around and grab loads, because this is the kind of thing that can happen. You can just see now, if I spin you around here, look at the light that's catching behind the trees now. So I haven't moved positions really, I haven't changed positions at all, it's just taken the same shots but just different variations. But you can see just in maybe the half an hour that we've been here, the light behind it has changed so much, and the clouds are really nice behind it now. So definitely worth bearing with one single scene and getting the most out of it. Good morning guys, so this is the scene we've been shooting this morning on day 3 of the workshop, this beautiful chapel here. You can just see there's a little bit of red sky left behind it, but earlier on it was really quite vivid back there, so it looks like a really nice shot I think this morning. Just been trying different perspectives, left, right, and then getting right up close, doing some wide angle shots of it as well. The guys are all over the place, spread out over the hillside, all shooting different things because we have fog over in the valley beyond here. Unfortunately, not as much as we probably would have liked, because we were hoping it was going to be right down in this valley bottom again, but hasn't really materialised this morning. Just play it by ear though. But one thing we have got today, if I spin you around this way, as you can see, we've got a lot more cloud cover today. So at least we've got interesting skies rather than the blue skies we had yesterday. Even though we could use those to our advantage as well, gives you kind of a nice blank canvas, a nice clean shot. It's nice to have some texture and detail up there today, so we'll be able to work with that. So yeah, just gonna carry on this morning, take a few more shots of this. Hopefully we'll get some sun as it comes up. It's clouding in though, so we might not get that. But yeah, just gonna see what happens. Well, good morning guys, and this is the last day of the workshop in Tuscany, and we've revisited the location we came to on day one. And if I just spin you around, you can see what's happening now. We're getting these beautiful rays of light back here, so I'm not going to stay on too long because this is going off as we speak. Not as much fog, but you can just see the fog moving through now as well. In fact, I'm just going to grab this because there's fog on the house itself, so I don't really want to miss that because it looks really nice. So I'll just quickly show you this shot. Press record on the back of here now, and then what hopefully you should see is this is a strip panel that we're getting this morning. I've put it in strip panel, but I've done 16:9 as well. It's just because there's a lot of black cloud above, so I wanted to eliminate a bit of that. But you can see we've got this strip of light off in the distance there. The strip of light is on the upper third, and just those shafts of light are coming down behind. There's a tree off in the distance there. You might be able to see it on screen. And then obviously we've got the farmhouse in the foreground on the lower third there. In the mid-ground, obviously there's that tree that I was talking about. So it just balances out really nicely there. I don't want to lower the frame too much because below that farmhouse you've got a lot of trees, and if I lower the frame too much you start getting those clipping in the bottom of the image there. So just grabbing shots at ISO 100 f16, fourth of a second, and about a stop under, just to make sure that those highlights don't clip where those rays are coming through. But it was a lot stronger than it is now. But yeah, great end to the workshop to get a shot like this. Obviously we were hoping for fog, but at least we've got some conditions that change the shot up a bit from the day one when we were here the first time here. So yeah, so this is going to be the last day. We've just come down here for the morning. We're going to head back and get some breakfast and then start packing and start moving back towards Rome. With it being the last day of the workshop, we've had some fantastic conditions on day one. The last couple of days we've had some beautiful shots as well. It just changes so frequently though, because you've got these mist and fogs rolling through this valley. It makes all the difference, really does. These conditions make the images really helps you to get the best images possible. So the guys are all spread along this ridge line at the minute, all taking shots. Josh is back here, Adrian's behind me over here, and the guys are up there. You can just see Matt and Phil up there. Yeah, fantastic time. Hopefully you'll see a lot of these clips. I'll put them together in some sort of order for a video for you so you can see how we've got on this week. So guys, just on the way back to Rome now, we stopped off at this mountainous area on the way back, and we could see the cloud rolling in on the top, so we decided we'd come up and see what we could find up here. And as you can see, if I just swing you around now, we've got all this mist coming through the trees. Fantastically beautiful up here, especially when you can get right close in and do some detail shots. Something you really wouldn't expect from Tuscany, so definitely worth the trip. Definitely worth coming up here just to see what was going to happen. And it's good because down in the lower section of the valley there, you can actually see the fog or the low cloud moving through. So it's just a case of, we've just been standing on the side of the road here waiting for clearings like this to happen, picking out these trees, been using a few of these lower trees here as foreground, and then when the mists roll through like they are now, you can see it's just clouding through there, picking out the bigger trees in the background. Just looks absolutely fantastic. And then on top of that, where you can see the sun poking through up here now, pointing the camera up towards that way, and when you get a clearing, there's some beautiful pine trees just exposing themselves out through there as well. I'll pop a few of those images up so you can see what we've been shooting. So guys, from the beautiful Tuscany, thanks very much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video soon. Take care. Bye bye.